Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California. And I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And I hope everybody is doing great out there under the circumstances. I hope everybody is safe. Same thing I said yesterday. Hasn't changed. I think we're all kind of in the same position, which could be worse. It could be worse. But it couldn't be worse for the comic book industry. It really couldn't. Greetings, everyone. This is a very special Nerdrotic Nooner at a very special time, so we can talk to a very special person. Peter Semeti of Alterna Comics. How are you, Peter?
I'm good. How are you, Gary?
Good and dumbfounded how our comic industry could crash and burn so quickly, and it didn't need to.
Don't lie to your audience, Gary. You're not dumbfounded. You know exactly how we got here. And it's not just because of the unfortunate situation that's going on in the world. There's all kinds of things. All kinds of things have been going on in comics for a decade plus now, easily. We could have found ourselves in a better situation, I think, than what we currently have. At least certainly not one where in 2 weeks the industry's just everyone's throwing their arms up in the air, freaking out. But here we are.
Yeah. And it shows that the inmates have fully taken over the asylum at this point, and the straight up business people are gone out of the industry, and it's filled with a bunch of creatives who probably haven't gone through anything like this. And, it's been a couple of generations. It's not like we've gone through anything like this, but, I went through a recession. It's not as bad as it. I mean, it wasn't as bad as this, but still, like you said in our little preamble when we were talking, there was no plan for this. There is not going to be a plan. They've just kind of scattered to the four winds and kind of covering their own asses right now when they could. There is a path out of this that could save a lot of shops, if not all of them, if they would just get together and, I don't know, acceptance. Acceptance is a very important thing in recovery, my friend. You have to accept the fact that, I'm a total fuck up and I have a problem with this disease of alcoholism. And if I don't handle it, I'm going to die. I'm going to die, or I'm going to end up in jail or in an institution.
We're still seeing the industry in that denial stage. Yep. It's been in that stage, though, for a long time, just denying all kinds of different things, all kinds of problems. And then, therefore, if you don't ever acknowledge the problem, you're never going to look for a solution because you think everything's great, everything's fine. And some people are still saying, most people in the industry are still saying everything's fine. Everything's just going to work out. We just got to ride this out and it'll go back to normal. Well, normal sucked. Normal was awful. Normal was absolutely horrible. We should never go back to what that normal was. We should look for a better way forward. And that's what we should be talking about as an industry. But no one wants to discuss that.
No. As we sit here today, Mile High Comics doesn't want to deal with Diamond anymore. Meltdown is gone. Meltdown is gone. Yep. Lee's Comics is gone. There are a lot of comic shops out there who are going to remain open who don't want to deal with Diamond anymore. And the choice might be made for them at this point. We don't know. That's not a healthy industry. You're absolutely right. Just some guy who you talked to yesterday, awesome, just did a video on the blog that's on Comic-Con that basically says what you just said. Everything's going to be fine. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
We're comic books. Dude. And it's the frustration that I'm sure you feel every day that I felt, and to the point where I just gave up. I stopped going to retailers, so I just didn't care anymore. It's like, okay, fine. I'm going to do my thing. You guys, whatever, I'll have to deal with you as long as I deal with you. And that's just the fear of change and the lack of acceptance, and that portion of Marvel and DC that constantly attacks fans, that treats or basically wants to get rid of half of their audience because they don't want to sell comics to you if you're on the right or in the center. They've made no secret of it, and now some of them are thinking of coming on over with their hands to their noses, going, okay, I'll think about talking to you guys if you're nice to us. It's like, I don't know what world they live in. Oh yeah, they're comic book artists, lifelong comic book artists. I'm a little harsh on it because I'm pissed. No,
we're all pissed. I think all of us that have been seeing this come for a long time now. I think we're all pissed. And that's what makes it even more ridiculous to hear these kinds of let's maybe let's work things out now. It's all I could think is, you guys that want to work things out now, you work so hard to get rid of the people that you want to work things out with. You worked hard not only against me and my company to just blatantly and create lies and slander and defame people and say the worst things in the world. You did it to so many people, and you did it to the fans, you did it to the customers, and now you want them back, but you're not actually asking for forgiveness. You're just saying, hey, you need me, right? We should just make a truce. We should be at peace. And that's not the way to go about it. If you're going to apologize and be ready for the fact that many people are not going to be accepting of that, and be ready for it. If you're sincere, if you're actually remorseful about the missteps taken, the words you shouldn't have said, all that kind of stuff, you got to put that out there. And if people want to accept the apology, that's great. If they don't, you got to go, okay, well, I do mean it, and hopefully time will tell. But we don't have that time right now. This is something that should have been done a while ago. This isn't one of those, oh, the industry's collapsing, let's wake up and maybe make a truce with the people we pushed out of it. It's insincere. It just seems like a something that's desperate out of self-preservation more than sincerity.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I've been watching comic shop owners, and we do have to start with a couple things before we get fully in this. I think that's a good monologue right there. But first, let's talk about you. Let's let your just in case any of you in my audience don't know who Peter Semeti is, give us a little background on what you do, and also could you add on like kind of what you've gone through as well over the last 3 or 4 years?
Okay, yeah, sure. Yes, so for those that don't know, I'm the publisher and founder of Alterna Comics. This is we've got a couple books here, and you can see a whole slew of them behind me. Alterna, we started out in 2006. The first couple of years we did print on demand. We didn't have distribution, mostly just single issue stuff. And then in 2008, we got distribution with Diamond and another distributor to distribute our graphic novels. We just did graphic novels at that point for about 10, 11 years. I did it at a time period where most people in the industry said that I was crazy to do that. You shouldn't just put out graphic novels. That's nuts. So everyone, every single year at that point, was kind of rallying against us all the time. It was always very difficult to get a foothold in the market. In 2011, because in 2010 we had such a hard time, and personally I had such a difficult time with many different things going on in my life. Alterna almost went bankrupt. We almost collapsed. It was after the credit crunch really took a devastating hit on us, along with a bunch of other things I had going on in my personal life. And I'm the only person that finances and funds Alterna. So if I can't do it, no one else can do it. And we were faced with a really, really weird and awful time. But the readers stood behind us, and they got us through it. And I'm grateful they did, because a year later we had a New York Times bestseller. And then we went on to restructure everything. And by 2017, we started putting out newsprint single issues, because the graphic novel market, everyone said I was nuts, but they said, you know what? 2014, 2015, all of a sudden, everyone's flooding the market with graphic novels. Everything's straight to trade. Everything's written for the trade. So the market got flooded, and we got out of there. It for the most part, started doing these single issues, very affordable, $1.50, $1.99. The newsprint allows us to do that, and they look great too. This way, you guys can see. There's a little bit of, you can see some reflection of the light, but the interiors look great. And everyone knows the newsprint. Yeah, it looks great. And we've got so many awesome books. I think we've had close to 200 issues in total since 2017. But that was awesome. It started off as, to me, newsprint and comics are so synonymous, and why were they never not just consistently that way? Newsprint was a third less to produce than doing it the way everyone else is doing it with the interiors that they have. And I just love it. They smell great. They look great. You don't have to search around and fight with the light when you read. And we've got creator-owned stories here, all kinds: horror, sci-fi, fantasy, superhero. And so we did that, and we've been doing that. And that's been great for us. It's been better than the graphic novel route ever was. But around as soon as we started doing it, of course, people said again, we were going to go under. They hated it. We were going to cripple the industry. $1.50 price point. We're making everybody else look bad. That's what I heard from a lot of people. So at the end of 2017, when I had announced, we had our best year in our entire history. Everything was up. I think at that point, it was like up 350% from what we ever did before. Better than any other previous year. And off the back of $1.50 newsprint comics. And literally New Year's Day, January 1st, 2018, we got our first attack from a bunch of people right after that. And it didn't stop until everything culminated in August 2018. And that was an awful experience. And people just, we thank our customers, whoever they are. We always interact with our readers. We love our readers. We appreciate all of them, as every comic creator and publisher should. And some people didn't like that. They didn't like that we weren't choosy, that we weren't putting people through some kind of purity test before we thanked them, before we quote tweeted and said, hey, thanks for reading. They didn't like that kind of stuff. So we got attacked for that. And it was pretty relentless for 2 weeks towards the end of August into early September. And honestly, it had me on the ropes. If I was in a different situation, I mean, I don't know what I would have done. It was pretty bad. I put on there that I felt on Twitter. I put on there that I felt borderline suicidal because it was relentless, and I thought my whole industry is turning against me, and my company's gone, and I'm not actually. I don't know what to do. It's my whole life, and at that point in time, we had creators that I'd known for 10 years, maybe, turning against me as well, saying and agreeing with these awful, horrendous things. And I think they were trying to kind of save face at that point and thought that maybe it would be okay. But so that really hurt. And that was the thing that just seemed like that was it. We were done and this was over. And thankfully, the fans, again, the readers that came in and they really supported us. And they came out not only with purchasing books or anything like that, but the letters, the emails, the messages I received, tremendous support. People that were just wonderful, absolutely wonderful, so kind. And that meant a lot to me. It meant a great deal. And, flash forward to like 2019, the year was good for us, but we had a lot of other things that occurred in the beginning of that year. Some more craziness because I guess we just weren't gone. We just couldn't be kept down. Mm-hmm. And I'm a very different person now than I was in 2018. I'm aware of what's going on. I'm not going to stay quiet about what's going on. Some people, again, don't like that now. They want me to shut up about everything. But no, it's not going to happen. I'm not who I was in August 2018. And you know what? That's thanks to them. That's thanks to them. They put me through a pretty severe gauntlet and let me know the real dark side of this industry. And the fact that it's not just trolls on the internet. It's not that kind of thing. What hurt was literally retailers and publishers and creators coming out of nowhere just to kind of step on us and make sure that we stayed down and make sure that they really did as much damage as they could. But because of that, past 18 months, month after month, our sales on direct, alternaaccess.com, higher than through distribution. So that's why when I see this situation, I'm like, you know what? You guys should have been preparing for this. Because if we can do better selling direct, if we can do better, and not just direct to readers, direct to retailers too, if we could do better that way, there's no reason that the rest of the industry can't do the same. But again, it might be too little too late. So we'll see. We'll see.
And it's quite a story. And folks, I want to remind you that Peter was basically, they tried to blackball him and blacklist him out of an industry for liking somebody's tweets or retweeting somebody who read an Alterna comic and said, I really like this. I'm paraphrasing. And Peter just automatically retweets it because he cares and he likes people liking his stuff. I would do the same thing. You would do the same thing. And then all of a sudden, it's like, Peter, do you understand that you're retweeting basically demons from hell who are Yahtzees? They are the bad person from Germany. We're the good guys. They're evil spawn who are inhuman, and you can't do that. Those are wrong people, Peter. I hope you understand it. We're just looking out for you, Peter. That's the comic book industry. It's vile. It's vile high school shite. And I mean, Peter got swatted. Peter got swatted, folks, over this shit.
Yeah, that's the thing I didn't want to necessarily. It's still hard. No, it's okay. It's hard for me to still mention the word.
That's scary.
And that's the kind of thing too. It's it's an awful kind of. It's a difficult experience. I just But yeah, no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, like, dude, but it has to be known because, like, this is how vile this thing got. Peter is a nice guy. Peter is a nice guy. He wants to sell comic books. He did something I was begging the publishers to do, put that shit back on print and make them cheaper. And that's what, believe me, that's what they're going to have to fucking do now. And he was trying to make actual changes in this industry. And, you probably already got enough blowback for that. And then soon as you talked to the wrong person, and believe me, these wrong people change every day, folks, because they're constantly moving the goalposts. People at my channel know. They've seen it happen with Doctor Who and Star Trek and Star Wars. Well, the proving ground, ladies and gentlemen, was comic books. I give you Exhibit A. EVS is Exhibit B, Richard C, or you can mix all those up. All this shit has been going on. They've been playing these games for the longest time. These are high school, childish, junior high games. These are adults. And the worst part, the part that breaks my heart, Peter, is hearing retailers did this. Hearing retailers were complicit in this. Shame on you. You are supposed to be looking out for the customer. You're supposed to be squashing this kind of shit. And to want to be part of it because you want to crawl up the ass of a fucking Z-list celebrity, I'm going to get mad. Fuck you. That is not your job as a retailer. Your job is to sell comics, keep the peace. Keep the fucking peace in this industry, no matter what side you're on. Dude, I sold comics in San Francisco for 10 years. Yes, I'm going to fucking remind you again. I didn't talk about politics once. And this is a hyper-political... People walk around going, hey, I want to talk about how much I hate George Bush. Or what? I mean, that's how they start conversations. I squashed all that shit because I just wanted to sell comic books. And now, here we are at the brink, looking over the edge. Lost a lot of friends there, baby. I got no time to mess around. Sorry, I'm quoting some Van Halen at you, but
go for it. I love it.
And fucking A, man. It's like these people don't want to accept that this is it. I'll be real. This lockdown here in California. September, folks. September. No fucking shop's gonna survive that. If that's a possibility, that is a real possibility. I didn't want to talk about it because I don't want to freak anybody out, but goddamn it, that's a real possibility. I hope not. It could be. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that's for sure, but that's what I heard from a pretty fucking reliable source. So California shops. How many are they? I forgot the number now. A lot less than there were a couple weeks ago. But we can't afford to lose any shops. And they are on the brink right now, and we are in denial. They're going to have to fundamentally change this industry. What that path is, there's a couple things you can do right away that they're not gonna. As the big two have to start accepting, it's got to be returnable. And they got to, instead of dumping this 3 months of crap on shops when this is over, or 4 months, pulp, for lack of a better word, pulp some of it. And start from scratch. I don't know. What would you do, Peter? What would be the first two things you would do if you were Marvel and DC?
Start setting up a way for direct to retailer. And I know that everyone thinks, okay, Heroes World and everything, but they did that at a time when they pretty much lost all their top talent, and they created their own little company, which spawned all kinds of different things. And I didn't even mean to do that as a pun.
That was a good one, though. That was a good one.
But so there was all kinds of things at that point in time. There's no internet infrastructure the way there is now. They didn't have, obviously, Disney backing them. They were, for better or worse, they were kind of their own thing and really needed comics to come through for them. That's not the case now, which is also why at the same time I'm thinking, maybe they just don't need comics. I know we've all had that talk for a while that maybe the big two just don't really need to do comics. Maybe they can just do reprints. Maybe they can, every now and then if they want. And I mean comics in single issue format, the way they're doing it now. Maybe they just treat it like, and I talked with just some guy about this last night, maybe they treat it like the films, where a couple big releases a year, bigger, thicker graphic novel type things into shops, into stores, and just the single issues are reprints, and they're affordable and they're out there just to have stuff that's, if it's not new to you, it's new to someone else. And that's something that's important, to keep the comics out in the public and to get new readers on board. But that's something, I guess, it takes a sea change, I think, of the whole company, because that's something that they've tried to get new people to read these books, but they do it with these reboots and these retcons and these kinds of methodology of throwing away what was, the tried and true, the core fan base, and going, well, we'll get this new fan base instead. Well, why would you do that? Just continue to build. There's no reason to destroy the readers that are there, the characters that are there, the stories that are there. You can just, you're having a new story, let's say, even the new Warriors, the Safe Space and Snowflake and all that. I'm of the mindset that there's a market for every book. So if they think there's a market for that book, find that market. But that's the thing. They have to find that market. They can't just put it in the same usual spot and then expect readers to acclimate themselves to it. So if you're going to get a book like that out there, you got to put it in different stores. You got to put it in front of different people. And maybe that'll pick up a new audience. And that's how you grow new readers. All these dollar books, why aren't they in Dollar Tree? Dollar Tree is still one of the best chains around in terms of growth and in terms of exposure to these kinds of things. They've got the coloring books in there. Disney has a couple comic books even at Dollar Tree. But how come there's no True Believers line?
Comic shops cock blocking all the stores. They because they're scared. They're so insecure. It's dumb. It's dumb.
It helps them.
Yep.
It helps them out, which is the strange part, because if anything, the direct market now should go back to looking at what worked in the beginning for them, which was back issues. It wasn't primarily basing their whole business on pre-orders, on, ordering a massive amount of things that they just didn't know what they were going to do with them. It would benefit the shops to go back and go, you know what? We have to become more like what we were, which is a secondary market to the primary market. And this way we can hedge our bets. We can kind of get in there what we need. We can be more flexible. We can work with specific publishers, because the biggest complaint usually from retailers when I talk to them, and you probably can say the same thing, is when they work with Diamond, everything's at an arm's length. It's it's a middleman of a middleman for another middleman. And there's this disconnect. There's always a disconnect. And you feel like you're never really getting through to anyone about what the actual situation is, what a problem might be. There's no solution for anything when you have any kind of concern. But if you could work directly with a publisher, chances are, they're going to try to help you out, because directly they need to do business with you. They can't just ignore all of their direct retailers, readers, whatever it may be, their customers. They're direct customers at this point. But when everything's like a middleman situation, it becomes very easy to kind of play either that you're ignorant to what's going on, or you actually may even truly be ignorant to what's going on. So it'd benefit the shops. I know they're thinking, we don't want to work direct with so many publishers, but I tell you guys, you really do. You really do want to work direct with them. I work direct we have hundreds, if not potentially 1,000 to 2,000 customers at Alterna that order from us direct. If I can do that, and I'm the only person really running Alterna, like in terms of day-to-day and orders and the website and everything else involved, other than our wonderful creators that create the books, it's pretty much just me. And if I can do that, everybody else can do that too. And everybody else who's in a better position, a bigger position, they can even have a department set up. You don't need Diamond. You don't need a middleman who's not really doing their job. We lost 15 to 16,000 reorders through Diamond, and stores didn't want to order through us. They still wanted to put those orders through Diamond. I said, you're not going to get the books. They're not going to send us the purchase order. We will literally get the books thrown away and fined if we send them books that they do not send us a purchase order for. So you have to understand that. Order through us. And they just didn't want to.
Because it's a lot of work. You're absolutely right. But it's work that's worth it. Absolutely worth it. There's a lot of comic shops out there. And I'm going to judge you a little bit who just want to order the preview, because Diamond made it very convenient with that preview magazine. And they got lazy. And you guys aren't going to make it. You guys aren't going to make it. The ones who are going to make it are the ones who have been doing the stuff on the side and trying to work a hustle. And like even that guy at a comic shop, he just looks like the kind of guy who would try to get a side hustle going. I don't know the dude. I don't know if he'll make it or not, but yeah. And we need that kind of attitude from the comic book stores, but we need everybody coming together and talking. We don't. I mean, there's Brian Hibbs. Brian Hibbs is out there. He's a voice. Okay. So is there are others who are voices, and they seem to get listened to the most. It's time for the smaller shops like the Keith's Comics of the world, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, who need to speak up, yell. You need to scream, because this is your very life depends on it now. And I'm not joking. This will not be okay for you, because the customers will not be buying. You might get a rush on the first day back, and then after that, there's going to be a lot of questioning. And I love what Peter said. I think, maybe you go the Indiegogo route to where everything's black label, everything's $10, everything's $50. You make the books more expensive, less frequent, less books, better talent, which I mean, the best of the best of the best of the best is making comic books now.
Even you can incorporate crowdfunding. Look at Todd, going back to Spawn. He's on the pulse of all this kind of stuff. He's seeing what people are doing and what's working. And now, what is that? It's almost like $1 million or whatever. The last time I checked, in one day on Kickstarter for the figure.
Yeah.
I mean, why? If I know Todd is thinking it, he's thinking maybe we could use this as a distribution method to sell books. I know he's thinking that.
I hope so, because it's proven. I mean, we need to get a little more infrastructure out there, because it's still the wild, wild west with Indiegogo and Kickstarter. And it'll almost suck if I got too much infrastructure. But yeah, that's a conversation for another day. But they're doing well. They're doing well. It's not perfect, but again, this is artists and creators who felt like they needed to get out of the industry. Well, and some of them were kicked out of the industry. Some of them are not welcome back ever. They've thrown away their careers forever because, and the weirdest thing, Peter, is the people with the most power in the fucking comic book industry are editors and lower tier artists. I'm sorry, I'll say it, the least talented. They're keeping the talent in check. Sean Gordon Murphy is in fear of his career from Tess fucking Fowler. What? Are you kidding me? Or from an editor, from a third-rate editor who can't even do their job. And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Sean Gordon Murphy should be walking around with his dick swinging out. Sorry. I mean, he's the fucking biggest deal in comic books. You fucking...
That's the kind of thing they put you through, though. They put you in this state of mind that you're going to lose everything unless you comply. And this is the mindset that they had me in at that point in time. And at that point as well, many people that were already going through that, like EVS and your boy Zach, Richard Meyer, they reached out to me and they said, look, I know what you're going through right now. I've been there. They're like, just, hang tough, stay strong and keep your chin up. We got your back. Just walk away from the internet, give it a day or two, step away. And we're all going to continue fighting the good fight for you. And I was shocked. I didn't expect that. It wasn't just them too. It was many people. So and I guarantee Sean got the same amount of support as well. But it's that kind of thing of don't give them that inch. And you can't do that. As soon as you do that, as soon as you let them know that you can be influenced with that kind of pressure, that's it. Now you are always going to be constantly looking at them and thinking about them before you do anything. And even the video he put out a day or two ago, whatever that was, about thinking about launching his campaign, and his mannerisms are very shrugging away. I don't know. Should I do this? My friends tell me that I really shouldn't. It's not a good look. It's not a good look to do what, brother? You make comics, sell them. People need that kind of stuff right now. Let them decide if they want to purchase it. If they don't, if it's too much money, if it's not, enough money for you. I don't know what it, but don't think about, should I or should I not make a living? And if your friends are telling you that, you need new friends.
Yeah. That's not a friend. That is not a friend. I wonder if Stan Lee ever worried if something was a good look or not. I'm trying to think. I don't fucking think so. I don't think he gave a shit. And Yeah, Sean Gorber, just do it. And if somebody is saying that's not a good look, sorry to state the obvious. People are offering their money to you. You're not forcing it out of them, Sean. They want to give it to you, even during these times. That's not a bad look.
Yeah.
That's just you doing business, buddy. People are doing it every day. The world hasn't entirely stopped. You're just worried about looking bad to a few comic book artists who are never going back to work. Sorry, never going
And they're
back
not
to
going to
work.
support you. They're never going to support
Nope.
you. They probably have never supported you. And you're letting them be your committee. Your business decision making depends upon how they feel, how upset they are. I want to right now. I mean, we all love Stan Lee. I think most of us in the chat even love Stan Lee. But I know a lot of people that hate Stan Lee. So I know people who hate Mr. Rogers. I know people who hate Bob Ross. I know people who hate Jim Henson. People that like you would think are universally loved. So someone out there is always gonna hate you. They're always gonna be looking to turn the screw and give you some shit and really make you feel like the lowest of the low. That's just life. I don't think we're in this business to be liked as much as we're in this business to make sure that people like our stories. At least that's what it should be. And if you have this mentality that everybody must like me, they have to like me. If they don't like me, that's the worst thing. That's going to completely hinder your creativity, because being creative is all about taking risks, and risk taking is all about the potential to possibly upset some people. But when they're upset, the key is to not tell them off and tell them how awful they are. It's to be like, oh, sorry, you didn't like this. I hope you like the next one better.
Yeah. Is that so hard? Yeah. Maybe I am an effing a-hole. I mean, make fun of it. I always shoot back like, Mom, is that you? Stuff like that. Just laugh at it, okay? It's funny. Oh God. And they want to be all punk rock. It's not punk rock to go, oh, some people might say it's a bad look about it. Oh, okay. I want you to think, Sean Gore Murphy, I know you're listening to you. We're buds like this. I want you to think fucking prison yard, buddy. You're on the prison yard and somebody hits you up and starts bitching you out. You got to fight that guy. If you don't fight that guy, then you will be bent over in his prison cell that night. If you don't fight, you're going to lose. It's a 300-pound dude. You're going to get your ass kicked. But if you don't fucking fight, you will be bent over in his cell that night. That's what the comic book industry is right now. And now you're kind of their bitch. So you don't want to be their bitch. Sorry, Peter, but I'm a crude guy. So and that's what it is right now. And let's get to some of you, and then I got to make a correction, okay? Because I want this is lesson time, ladies and gentlemen, and this is no shade on. Keith Comics is our winner. I'm still an idiot, but I wake up every morning knowing I'm an idiot and very comfortable with my idiocy. I'm okay with it. I'm 50. Life ain't changing for me much anymore. But I'm not a bitch. At least I'm not a bitch. But I'm an idiot. So Keith Comics won. I checked the email, and I remember seeing that he said he was in Illinois. But I looked up Keith Comics online last night, and I called out the wrong one. So Keith Comics still won the $1,000, and it's still the right person. It's just I talked about the wrong website when I pulled it up. I've cut that out of the video. That guy didn't even enter the contest, so it doesn't matter. And so it's Keith Comics in Illinois, and we're gonna give him a shout out later. And again, this is no shade on Keith, but let that be a lesson when some of you out there are gonna open up a comic store. Don't ever call it Gary's Comics or Larry's Comics or Keith's Comics, because there's always another Larry, there's always another Gary, and there's always another Keith. So, and unless you're like, unless you have like the most unique name in the world, but still, that'd just be my unsolicited advice. All right. So what we got here?
Oh, some people in the chat before, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go
They're
ahead.
saying how your microphone is low.
There's nothing. It's blasting right now. It is absolutely. I cannot get it any louder. So
maybe I'll get mine like further away.
I can take yours down. That's probably what it is. Here, I can take yours down a little bit, and that should work. But no,
I don't want to talk over you.
Nah, that's all good. All right, here we go. Here, I can fix that. All right. It's a self-adjusting mic, and it Just
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's weird. It's yeah, I've got it blasting, so there's not much I can do.
It's sentient.
It is. It's got a mind of its own. Huron the Steadfast gives 10 Canadian dollars and nothing to say. Thank you, Huron the Steadfast. Welcome. Welcome. John Zeller for $2. Hail, Gary. Hope all is well. Things are as well as can be. My wife has not gone completely nuts with this shutdown because she wants to go to work like a lot of other people. I will say San Francisco has been amazingly free of any serious problems. We have empty hospitals. We have people going home early. We have nothing going on here at all. Nothing. There's not even a poop on the street. So, yeah, it's not, I guess it's bad in LA, but not here. Ashan Jackal for $2. Hello, Peter and Gary. Hello, greetings. And John Zeller, thank you for the $2 again. Max 15 for 20 pounds. Love you, brother. Love you too, Max. Back at you. And the Scottish nerd sends us a rainbow unicorn because he is all about the rainbow unicorns. Hail to you, Peter. Didn't mean to exclude you, said John Zeller for $2. Peter doesn't feel excluded.
No, I'm good. Thank you so much, though.
Yeah. No, we love Peter. So, man, so we're almost at, what is it? It started basically like the 16th. That's when things started getting real because that's when Brian the next day put out his email saying, I haven't heard from DC and Marvel in 3 days. And he knew what I knew, which was the city was shutting down. We heard about it on the 12th that the city was shutting down. So, and I guess there's some places out there that like, there's still comic shops open. So there's some places where the shops are open right now. I don't know.
Not every state has the lockdown order, right?
No. And I think that's good. You know,
I wonder what the percentage is though of the comic shops. It's got to be something like 70% at this point of shops, I would imagine, are in the non-essential lockdown states.
They have to be because of the big cities.
Yeah.
You would think so. I have no idea how many shops there are. Diamond has never, ever shared that information. Remember, and you know this, that is mixed in with online stuff. So we don't know how many online shops that they are counting over brick and mortar. I think a guess is 1,900, but nobody's ever really done an official count. Diamond knows. They absolutely know. And so I guess Marvel and DC do too, but they aren't telling anybody. What kind of a state do you think Diamond is in? Now, I haven't talked to Diamond in 5 years, and you have. How do you feel about being told you're getting paid 25% of what we owe you?
Yeah, that's thrilling.
Isn't it?
Well, okay, let me
walk us through this.
Back a bit. Okay, so the day before they sent that email through that they weren't going to accept new product and new product wasn't going to go out, they sent an email to the publishers saying everything is normal in big red letters at the top of the email, which of course that means everything's fine. And then they wanted the solicits.
That'll make me feel better automatically. Sirens, everything is fine. Don't panic.
And then they wanted the solicits for product for this upcoming calendar month, which is basically they solicit stuff in advance, so they need everything. Usually it's on like a 4-month prior schedule. So they wanted stuff for August release, for June previews, which is due date of the solicit is for April. Today, actually, which I did not send the solicits in because of what I'm going to tell you now. So they wanted those solicits. They wanted product to come in. And then I said, there's no way that things are going to be okay. I'm already seeing lockdowns across the board. This isn't going to be fine. The next day, we get that email about no new products coming in, no new products going out. So I figured, okay, yeah, that's kind of, I guess that's what's going to happen. No email, though, about holding off on the solicits. No email about the purchase orders that we're not supposed to send and acknowledge. No email about it, the adjustments or cancellations of them. Just everything is okay and normal still, other than the fact that no new product comes in or goes out. After that point in time, everyone in the industry starts kind of panicking. because they're thinking, well, what's happening? What are we doing? What's going on? It can't just be, well, it's an indefinite situation. People hear indefinite, and it's always that kind of, that's forever. Indefinite means forever. That's how people take those words. I don't know why everyone keeps using indefinite, but that they do. So after that, people start bringing to light this whole situation of, well, how are we supposed to manage our publishing schedule, our production schedule, the retailers, how they're supposed to juggle their budget, how they're supposed to know what their cash flow is going to look like if there's no new product coming in, no new product going out, etc. And then when they had announced that, they didn't answer any of that, but when they announced the terms of, okay, well, this is how we're going to start paying things out, and it stretches out over the course of basically 5 months, which coincides with The Shining, by the way. He's going to be there for 5 months too, which is how I'm going to feel at the end of all this.
Uh-huh.
We're all going to be taking axes to the doors.
Here's Peter.
Every time you interrupt me, it's that kind of thing. So 5 months of expecting a full payment for what has already been sent, shipped, printed, received, and gone out to that's. So publishers seeing that, and I'm thinking the same thing as well. So I immediately write to Diamond after I got that email. And I said, what about now the prior purchase orders and the current purchase orders and the new solicits you want us to send and the upcoming solicits that are out there right now? Right now, April previews is out there for June releases, and they're promoting it. Am I going to actually get a purchase order next week from shops that were supposed to send in their stuff like last or 2 weeks ago? How are they actually saying we can order anything with any confidence in either direction? Because what if, and they're probably going to go through it and say, let's order conservatively and order maybe half or even less than what we would have ordered, which that's crippling for so many publishers. And then, but I can't blame the retailers for doing that. But then what if everything breaks through and now the retailer's massively underordered? And now they lose a ton of money when everything rolls around. And now the publishers, no one can juggle anything. The whole situation's a mess. Diamond just needs to just go, look, we can't get anything through. We need to put everything on a hiatus until this is sorted out. No new solicits, no new product, no new anything. Everyone can now just kind of do what you got to do. And Diamond is going to sort their stuff out. And maybe Diamond could actually work on their website, previewsworld.com, and do a ship to store feature and do some infrastructure overhaul to make it easy for customers to go on there, pick a store with the drop down, and then they can actually order and pay in advance, and that money gets allocated to the comic shop accounts. Maybe that's something they could work on during this. But why do that? Instead, everything's normal, everything's fine, even though nothing's normal, nothing's fine. So when I brought up that email to them, they gave me a non-response. And they gave me basically the whole, it's a fluid situation. We're looking into it, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Which is like, so I'll let you know, Diamond, I'm going to pretend like you don't exist any longer because I can't do business and run my company with, I guess we're sort of doing things kind of, maybe not. What kind of answer is that? What kind of
fucking answer from the lone distributor on the planet for American comic shops? Dude, I could totally see them like they're writing that email and there's a bunch of people shredding papers and fucking boxing shut up and getting the fuck out of there. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. How are any publishers supposed to go, okay, well, we'll make comics still, but we don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like that doesn't tell anyone anything other than the fact that you can't trust the situation that Diamond's in right now. And I'm not aware of what their financial situation is like, but I get a little bit of a peek into that window, considering that they can't pay for product they've received. They don't have any kind of money at all in their system. And whatever the hell they do have needs to go to them either keeping alive or keeping alive long enough to not necessarily put themselves in a potentially awful situation where they just close up. So just looking at that, I don't have any confidence in that situation. So I'm not going to run my business that way. So we're going to be printing books based on how we sell direct and what I know we could sell direct, and order a little bit more, because I'm expecting a lot of those customers that were at the shops to come directly to us. And I'm also expecting shops to start ordering directly from us. Shops that don't want to order directly from us, I don't know what to tell you. You can place whatever order that you think you need to place through Diamond to get Alterna books in. But I'm not going to honor them. I'm not even allowed to honor them. So I'm not going to think about honoring them. I don't know what else to tell anyone at that point in time. Any publisher that wants to schedule their publishing line based on what Diamond is really not saying, you're putting yourself in a tremendous, awful situation there, and a lot of risk to take for that. It's not worth it. Just start working on your own infrastructure, build your own platform, build your own way to get books out there to retailers and readers, and really start considering the fact that this is a blessing in disguise. This is a broken system. It's been broken for a while. It needs to be completely overhauled, not just repaired or patched up. We shouldn't be advocating for this system to go back to the way it was. This should be a moment for us to reassess what wasn't working, which was a lot of it, and look at that and go, well, now let's do what could work, because we know what's not working. We know why do we want to put ourselves in this situation again of just we're all dependent upon a lone distributor that if they don't want to do something, or if they collapse, we're all screwed. Why do we want to be in that situation again?
And they don't want to be, exactly, and they don't want to be transparent with you at all. So this lone distributor that so many were relying on, including billion-dollar subsidiaries of billion-dollar corporations, Marvel and DC, I mean, like, they got screwed in this too. They did. I mean, they've been part of it, but they also got screwed because Diamond didn't have any cash reserves. They didn't act like a company. I mean, listen, I heard a lot of bragging coming out of Diamond. I've heard a ton of rumors. I can't verify any of them, but the one thing I had heard from day one was they weren't swimming in a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of, they were always in some trouble, which always made me nervous. That's what made me want to, like, can we do something about this? And that's what I found out. Nobody wanted to compete against them. That's the sad part. Nobody had the desire. There was a couple of attempts that just didn't make it. And, I think we're seeing, I hope shops, I don't know, I don't want to give any back. Again, it's been 5 years since I've been in the industry, Peter, but I would hope shops are looking past Diamond at this point and just thinking like,
yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, because like they might be the thing that's not coming back. Maybe Marvel and DC are coming back, and maybe DC's already said they're looking for other avenues to distribute, and I guess they have them.
That's the thing too. In this time, everyone's going to do what they got to do to survive. I know some people out there want everyone to hold hands, sing Kumbaya, and all we drown together on the Titanic, and everything's great. But we all have to do what we have to do to survive. Retailers have to sell as much as they need to, as they could possibly sell to stay afloat. Get whatever assistance you need. There's all kinds of things being offered right now that could help retail shops. And then publishers need to do what they need to do to survive too, which means they have to have cash flow. They have to have, they got bills I've got bills to pay. Everyone's got bills to pay. Creators have to do what they have to do to survive. They have to, and many of them might actually leave comics and then take up jobs elsewhere, or, never come back to comics, or come back sort of, kind of in a way. Everyone, this whole situation isn't going to be one of these, we just waited out a month and then everything's back to normal. This thing is at least going to be 3 more months of the way it is. I don't see it being anything shorter than that. And then in terms of normal, in terms of consumers even buying comics the way they did again, I'd say double, triple, maybe even 4 times that amount of time, maybe even a year until things get back to normal buying habits for comic books. People are in, this isn't just a thing that's affecting the comic industry. This is a thing that's affecting the whole world. There's all kinds of things at play here. So we have to understand and make adjustments to that. This isn't just about Diamond and, we're trying to hold the line and stick it to Diamond and we're all uniting and trying to get some kind of change going. This is far bigger than that. So we all have to look at it and go, now's the time. If you're a creator, become an entrepreneur. If you're a publisher, become self-sustaining. Become a little bit of a distributor as well for your own product. Because even the book market's getting hit really hard. Really hard. So there's all kinds of things here. If you're looking at relying upon a bigger system to take care of you, this is the time to look at that and go, you know what? We can't really do that. We have to make sure that we always have a contingency plan.
Always. And this goes all the way to the top to I talk about it every live stream, so apologies, but I'm not sorry, because Disney spent half of a board meeting talking about diversity and not a single second talking about something like this. And it's crazy. It's crazy. I even, like, once in a while we do a little family meeting here at home and go, okay, the big one hits, we're going to meet here, you're going to go to grandpa, we have a little plan, a little plan if the big one hits. Well, the big one hit. The big one hit. And I'm not happy about this. But you and I knew something like this was going to, I mean, this industry was going to collapse eventually. I mean, just under its own weight, this helped it a lot. So you're right. It's not because of the thing that shall not be named. It's because it was weak before this began. There's the denial. And I sincerely hope a lot of comic book artists and writers out there know a trade. I hope you have a plan B. I really do, because some of you are not coming back. Heather Antoses of the world who think America has the worst fans. Okay. But they might have some of the best vocational schools, young lady. So go check it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you might need one. Working a desk job.
I want to say I love America. I'm supposed to love America too. I'm born on the 4th of July, and I'm born on a Wednesday, so it's like loving America and loving comic books. It's kind of like my thing. But I love America because I'm the grandson of 2 immigrants families that came over. One from China that escaped Chinese communism, and another from Italy that my grandfather fought in World War II against his will because he was a ward of the state. He was an orphan because he lost his father in World War I. Wanted to leave that country ever since it put such a bad taste in his mouth. He didn't want to fight against. And it gets me emotional thinking about what both of them have been through and how much they sacrificed and knew America would be better for their children than what they went through. And they loved America. They loved being here. They loved the fact that this country, even though it's not perfect, oh man, was it better than where they came from and what they went through. So when I see that kind of crap, it makes my blood boil, because it's the greatest country in the world. And if you don't think so, there's plenty of other great countries for you to go live in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Heather. She'll find out. I mean, sheer fucking hubris. It's kind of a popular line now. It's the best thing that came out of Star Trek Picard. Let's get to some Q&A. And yeah, I couldn't believe when I saw that. I didn't want to do a video because it would just be me dropping the F-bomb for like 10 minutes.
No, you're right. And the thing is that America is not, people equate you have to love government to love America. Mm-hmm. You can still, it's a proud tradition in America to not necessarily be satisfied with your government. So you can still not be a fan of the government, but love America and love the people that are here.
Ideal, the imperfections.
And that's what it's all about.
Progress, not perfection. That's what this is. That's what life is. Okay. And it's the ingratitude that we hear from, and I think that's what pisses off customers the most. It's not even necessarily, listen, somebody calls you an asshole. You call them an asshole back on the internet. So what? Big deal. In a vacuum, I don't really care. But when you start doubling, tripling down and started getting Facebook groups to kind of blackball people and consistently call people Yahtzees for 3 years, to where it's so much where people start believing it, where other retailers threaten comic artists who aren't even in the industry anymore with violence, that's when it snowballs and gets out of control. And it needs to fucking stop. You guys need to apologize. You really do. The creatives don't think they're in the wrong on this one still to this day. You are. You're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. And so many people are pissed off by the just lack of gratitude. It's like, why are they so angry? They're drawing superheroes. They're drawing men and women in tights. Some of them are very good at it. Some of them are very talented. And
I don't mean to interrupt you. I see a lot of people in the chat that I've upset because I said, to me, America is the greatest country in the world. That's why I love America, though. And I want everyone that lives in their country, that loves their country, should feel the same way, that you should feel like your country is the greatest country in the world. So I don't mean to say other countries are, poo-poo and bad and whatever. love your country, love the people that are here, that you're with, you love your neighbors. It's that kind of a thing. I don't necessarily mean like, oh, mine's better than yours and whatever. So everyone in the chat, I love all kinds of other countries. They're wonderful as well. But this is the one that did wonderful for me and my family. And again, it's not perfect, but I have a lot of love for it.
Yeah. No, we tax too much, and we're controlled too much by political correctness. That's one thing. That's social tyranny. And there's a lot of European countries going through that. But
I love that we could fight back against it, though. We could have these conversations.
Oh, and the fact that we're doing this internationally is the beautiful thing. That's my favorite part. Is I have a massive, like above average. Well, like Jeremy says, above average European audience. So, which is great. Probably because of Doctor Who. I don't know, but welcome. And the one thing we supposedly still have here is free speech. That free speech is so important. We're losing it on this platform, unfortunately. There's a couple things I can't say. I will say that I think anybody should be able to come on this platform and say anything like it was in 2016. I'm sure you all remember what YouTube was like in 2016 and 15. It was great. And we're not like that anymore. Mike Barra was recently, his channel was demonetized. You might know him from Ancient Aliens, and he does woo-woo UFO stuff. And there's a place for that, and most of us are adults, and we can decide what's BS and what's not. He was demonetized yesterday. So, yeah, and like, we can't have that, YouTube. Come on. Like, I risk getting myself in trouble, but I don't care. We can't have that. We just flat out can't have that. And that's what's going on in the comic book industry, and it's social tyranny. But I am grateful. I'm very grateful I'm here. Alex Wyman, welcome to the Geloja level. I grew up in sometimes you just get lucky. I grew up in San Diego. I was born in San Diego. It's a great place to grow up as a kid. It was just a great place to grow up. And a much better place to be homeless and be on the streets than like LA or San Francisco for sure. It was warmer. That's all. And yeah, growing up in California. California used to be really cool. For one, it didn't used to always be this way. This is a recent phenomenon. This is 15 years ago. California used to be right wing. California used to be in the middle. That was my favorite part, when it was dead center. It was in the middle. And now it's gotten wacky, and they let San Francisco take over the state, which is just not a good thing. It's good to hear both sides, always. But Gavin Newsom's not the answer. Sorry. But I love Europe. I freaking love Europe. I was just looking at my Facebook. I was in Sicily a year ago today.
That's where my family's from. Yeah, my dad would always say how beautiful it was.
Oh my God, it was so great. We were in this castle, a friend of ours' wedding. So they rented out this castle. I forgot the name. Castle Falconi, something like that. It was beautiful. I wish I could go back. First time I've ever seen ruins, and there's in one area there's ruins that start Greek and then go Roman. So you keep walking up, and the temples get older and older. It's so freaking cool. So cool.
Yeah, the history is great. I love history.
Comic Spire, or Captain Spire. I got comics in the head right now for $2. Comic store owners here seem dead inside or angry. Yeah, because the way they've been treated through the system. Listen, they're responsible too. I don't want to sound like they're not. Listen, having been one, I know how easy it can be to get complacent. Or listen, a lot of comic shop owners didn't want to go into a battle. Okay, they're like, this is kind of a side job or retirement job or a fun hobby job, and like, it's not. The fact is, it's not. It's a you need to fight job. You're working with a distributor who is dishonest. Like you said, keeps you at arm's length, treats you like a customer when they're supposed to be a partner.
It keeps you in this sense of feeling like you have no power. There's a powerlessness to being in this system. You're handcuffed at every turn. Like I said, even the fact that I could see hundreds, if not sometimes 1,000 to 2,000 reorders across the board for our titles piling up. And I'm thinking, this is great. If I see that, let me just send that. You don't need to send me a purchase order, right? But it's like, I can't do that. I have to wait, because if I were to do that, they get the books, they tear them up, they throw them out, and they send me a fine and say, don't do that. Don't send us stuff we don't ask for. And it's and the thing is, we don't necessarily lose those sales, because a lot of those customers then come to us directly. And that was the big reason we started selling direct, is because I didn't want to lose all those readers. But the shops lose those sales. And it's not just an Alterna problem. This is something I've spoken to with at least a dozen or so other publishers at our level. They have the same kind of problem too. So retailers across the board, I can only imagine the kind of reorders that they're losing, the kind of sales. And then as a customer, how many times are you going to go to a store where they just don't have what you need? They tell you they can get it, but everyone in that conversation knows that that's not going to happen. You need customers to feel confident. You need retailers to feel confident. Everyone at this level needs to feel like they can actually do the job that they need to do to earn a living. Or the customer needs to, get a book. They want to get a book. They can get a book. They don't have to turn elsewhere. They don't have to go to eBay or Amazon or wherever. They can go to their local comic shop. And along the way, Diamond forgot that that's essentially their customer, is the local comic shop. And you have to do what you have to do to take care of them. If they need the books, if they have reorders that they're placing, they need to get those orders so they can get them to their customers and earn a living. Everything along the way is this weird disconnect.
Yeah, no, they were so slow on that stuff. There were many times I ordered off Amazon, I ordered off eBay, or I went home, pulled it out of my collection, and just gave it to them. I lost count. I did some math in my head over the 10 years, the damages and shortages, just the little stuff that I didn't bother calling in, over 10 years added up to like $16,000. $16,000. I didn't bug them a lot. There was a long period of time there, Peter, where it was right after we got the settlement for the lawsuit. Just like things were coming in on time, and I was new still, so I don't know if they felt like they could fuck with me. And it was before they changed that one warehouse. But dude, I would get entire boxes that are fucked up, and I just what am I gonna do? Most of my customers didn't care; they just read the books. I'd have to replace the ones that with the collectors, but fortunately, I had a lot of readers at my store at the time, and it wasn't that big. But yeah, it was constant problems with that. And John Broly, I think that was his name, was my rep. He was a good guy. Maria Galea did the best she could. She was the credit lady. You kiss her ass. You be nice to her. Be nice to her if she's still there. Always be nice to your credit lady. Trust me. Send her a Christmas card, maybe some donuts or something on Christmas. Be very nice to her. You will.
Oh yeah, there's
her.
some wonderful people that work at Diamond.
Yep.
It's not to say, again, it's like the thing with America. It's not to say that everyone that's working at Diamond is this awful, ruthless and cold-hearted and soulless person.
No, just on top.
It's the situation again of there's a lot of great people that are there, but everyone's got to just kind of go along with whatever system that's at play. They can't really rock the boat with so many things. They're not even in the situation to do so. It's kind of like getting mad at the retailer because a price on a book is astronomically high or whatever, or the distributor sending them, like yourself, they sent them a big box of damaged crap, and it's like I'm just as much a victim of this as you guys are. It's that kind of thing. But yeah, there's a lot of great, really nice people at Diamond, but the policies that are there, the system that's in place, it needs to be completely restructured.
They need to come back as a new company, and because they never had to change. Like you said, the Previews World website is a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Their website is a joke. They finally updated like their FOC system and stuff. They finally updated that. That was years ago, but for a while, we were ordering something on a program where I had to keep this old ass computer that ran Windows 98, and I got that from the guy I bought the shop from, and he's like, "Don't get rid of this computer because this is how you ordered from Diamond, and you couldn't change it because it was like DOS based or something like that." And I'm like, "What the fuck?
Wow,
really?" And this was in 2003. Yeah, it was like, I was like, maybe it's just him. I don't know. No, it was Diamond, and they changed shit, and that's fine. I was about to go to paper. I was like, fuck it, I'll just write this shit down. It'll be easier. But they've never had to change because with no competition, there is no innovation. And
yeah,
here we are.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Eskimo Phono for $4.99 says, applied to get a second part-time job since hours were cut in half. Good luck, everyone. Buy Alterna. Absolutely buy Alterna, ladies and gentlemen. They are quality books. Yeah, and you offer cool like little deals and stuff. That's what I like.
Yeah. And Eskimo Phono, I hope your situation
Yeah.
improves as well. But yeah, thank you, buddy. They're always popping in and out of the Alterna chats too when I'm doing shows. But yeah, we always have different sales going on. We're going to actually be more the captain of our own ship at this point now, which is fun. Before it was always that, I don't know, should I do this? Should I not do that? It's stepping on toes. Now it's like, I don't care whose toes I'm stepping on. We have to survive. We have to run our own business. So we're going to start structuring our newsletter like it's a flyer. Treating our publishing company as if it is what it is. It's selling directly to readers and retailers as well. So we're going to have different sales. We're going to have different promotions, highlight new items, have the digital comics are going to start coming. We're going to transition away from Comixology as well. We're going to start selling digital directly on our site. We already have 5 copies up on there of issue number 1s and work our way like that. We're not going to be putting out necessarily new releases anytime soon digitally, but we're going to be building our catalog slowly on there. So this way, too, if you're an international customer, you don't want to pay the shipping. Maybe you like digital as well, even if you're not international. You can get comics on there, 99 cents an issue. So all kinds of great things at Alterna, and we have all kinds of stuff. So alternaaccess.com is the best place for all of that. And other than that, let your local retailers know too. Hey, order Alterna direct. It's quick and easy. Nothing painless about it. You just get a discount code. You order whatever you want on the site. And if you're in the US especially, it's great. $25 orders or higher. For retailers too, get free shipping. I don't think Diamond does any kind of free shipping incentive.
No, absolutely not. They charge you shipping on a damage they sent you.
They do. They don't even.
Yes, the times they have charged you.
Man,
shipping.
We're all getting screwed, aren't we?
We all are. Yes.
And we don't even get to go on a nice date.
No. There isn't even a kiss, a butterfly kiss beforehand. So, Espadaf242 for 25 Swedish cronies says, Gary, your mic is low. I'm sorry. Hopefully I fixed that. But yeah, it's blasting. It's as high as it can go. I'll try to stay on top of it. Thank you. Sorry you had to send a super chat for that. David Morris for £5. Keep your faith in what is good on the earth. David and the Antichrist are on the earth. We all love and agree on virtually everything. Spoon clank, says David Morris. The coming together and talking will come. We've already won the culture war, and it's won by bringing all together in a redemptive catharsis. I don't know about that. I would love that. Thank you for the super chat. And I think there are some people who are, I don't know. I would hope so. They're going to have to come to terms with it because the culture war is kind of over. Whether people have come to terms with that or not, it's kind of over. This shit doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's boring. It's drawn out. It's pointless. Let's move on.
Like, seriously. Like, just make, you know what? I see Conan. Just somebody brought up Conan. Make a Conan book about Conan. I don't care about, I don't want to hear about Conan's views on abortion or anything. I just want to see a Conan book. All right. And, make fun books. And if you want to make a message book, make a specific message book. Don't stick it in Spider-Man. That's it. That's it. It's not that hard, but that takes talent. That takes confidence in your talent means showing a little restraint. Alan Moore, and this gets brought up a lot. Alan Moore is able to empathize with any of his characters that he's writing, even Rorschach, a character he would hate. But he found something in that where he was able to make Rorschach human. We had a lot of conversations about this when the Watchmen TV show was coming out, and people were telling us we didn't understand Watchmen, which was my favorite part. Alan Moore created a character he fundamentally disagreed with completely, but found a way to make that character human and not just a caricature, and that's talent. System Revolt for $1.99. I was done with comics until Comicsgate. I've heard that from a lot of people. System. I've heard people who weren't even into comics, and that's their first experience with comics is Comicsgate. That's what I've heard. And all Peter has done. Peter is not a ride or die person. I'm not a ride or die person. I just don't judge people because of a hashtag or group or one person. Ethan, I get it a lot, Peter. Ethan gets it a lot. Jeremy gets it a lot. Somebody acts up and then uses the hashtag Fandom Menace. I'll use Fandom Menace for an example. And like, we're supposed to keep that person in check. It's like, no, they're an adult. They're an individual. It's not an organization. This YouTube channel is me. It's my business. And I'm very lucky that I get to talk about pop culture all day. And I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. And it's great. And I can have my friends on. Peter. Sorry, it wasn't sooner, by the way, Peter. It should have been sooner. So that's my bad.
No, it's fine. We're all crazy busy and everything's insane right now. Oh.
And if it helps, and if I can use this to help. So if I can be, yes, I'm going to be extreme in my titling. I'm going to be mad because I'm trying to bring attention to an industry that, quite frankly, is not the most important right now. People are going to move on from if this goes on too much longer. So if I can shed any light on it to help it, especially shops, especially Peter here, I'm going to do it as much as I can. And hopefully it hope is not a strategy. Hopefully there is a plan made. And you mentioned it earlier, Peter. Car D'Angelo, who is the owner of Earth 2, I don't know if you know him or not. I haven't talked to him in years, but nice guy. He came by my store. He had a little blurb in Bleeding Cool, which I don't know why the industry had not done this in the begin with. And he said that everybody should have just paused. Everybody hits the pause button. Put your pencils down, pause, and we meet. We meet and make a plan. It's possible. It's actually possible. We're kind of past that point now. And, you've got to look out for yourself now. But there was a time where Diamond and Marvel and DC and Alterna and IDW and everybody could have just like, hey, we need to all stop and just go, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to forgive debt for 3 months and then you all wait for Diamond to say anything. And then Diamond says shit. So, again, that time has passed. I thought it was a good idea then. Now you're doing what you got to do. You just got to move on.
Yeah. That's the thing is that was we don't have the luxury of time. That's at a situation when we maybe did. Now it's everyone's got to kind of do as much as they can and just get to it. I know there's some people still out there. There's specifically, groups of people I'm seeing that it's all about how do we fix this current system? Let's, get free stuff to the shops. Let's do all this kind of, and it's just, that's, again, it's not really, you're still trying to treat the symptom here. We should be trying to cure this situation, actually treat the cause, the problem, and talk about it first. First, talk about it. No one wants to really talk about it. It's like this everyone's Voldemorting the whole thing. And there's just no reason for that. If we can't recognize right now the mistakes that are being made and try to learn from them and try to move forward, at this point in time, when it's become very obvious and apparent what the mistakes are, we're never going to change. This industry's doomed, no matter what occurs afterwards. It's going to continue going down and spiraling down out of control. So right now is the time to acknowledge what's gone wrong and do our best to come up with solutions. But we have to acknowledge that first, and so many just are not. And especially the people within a power position, they're choosing to not acknowledge it. And it's sending that message down the ranks and convincing people that everything's okay. Everything is not okay. Everything was not okay. Things need to be fixed. I said this last night. The very wise Mark Wade once said, "Fix this now."
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We need those words taken from that stupid situation. And now we need those kinds of people. Don't be so upset about your representation within a comic. You know why? Because we're going to have no shelves to have these representations on them. We're not going to have these books on the shelf for these companies to flood. We need to have a different system in place. We need to restructure. We need to see everything that was going wrong and look at it and go, hey, there's a better way. And every single person, top to bottom, needs to be of that mindset. Otherwise, forget it. This is pointless. And the people that acknowledge it and know what's going on and know the solutions and the things they have to do, every one of you guys, just keep doing your thing, because those guys, this is their mess. They can take care of it. You got to make sure you're doing what you need to do to make a living. And if it involves, selling direct to readers, retailers, switching a career, even whatever it is, whatever you have to do, no one should be feeling it. The Sean Murphy thing. No one should be making someone feel right now that whatever it is they feel they need to do to get out there and keep their livelihood, you shouldn't be making people feel they're not allowed to do that. And anyone that's doing that kind of thing needs to just, you know what? I don't care. I don't need your advice. Thank you for saying it. I'm going to do the exact opposite of everything that you just told me to do. Stinking
thinking. That's what that is. Now that again, that person is not your friend. Oh my God. That's not a very good look right now. We prefer you starve. I know it's the only way you can make money, but you should starve like us. It's no. Yeah, man.
We don't need more of that. We need people that are gonna, be leaders in a way that are, and he could be one of them, but he's got to dig deep. I know it's in there. You can see that he's got that little bit. It's in. It's just got to be, grab that leadership and just go with it. Don't just do the thing of, oh no, I might upset that person who I really don't care about, and they really don't care about me. But they get people to get upset too, so I kind of care.
Maybe he doesn't see himself that way yet. He's a younger guy than me. Okay,
so he's older than me though.
Yeah. Okay. So, but maybe you were a leader, Sean Gordon Murphy. This is your time. This is your time to shine. Jim Lee, when presented with the opportunity, he sketched. He went and sketched some for shops, which is great, but that's not leadership, folks. What Peter's doing is leadership. Like, fuck Diamond. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. That's leadership, because Alterna is not a script farm for Hollywood, although they wouldn't make bad scripts for Hollywood. It's a compo company. First and foremost, it's a compo company. That's why I will always back it. It's not fucking Humanoids, which puts 800 comics on sold 800 of one comic. 800. And, they're pausing because they're just a script farm now. Same with, IDW practically. Lock and Key finally made it to Netflix, and I bet, oh man, IDW must be so bummed. They finally got a show that got a season 2 on Netflix, and then this happened. They must be so bummed. Dark Horse, I love Dark Horse. I do. I love that Dark Horse as a company. I think it's a good company. But yeah, none of this shit's gonna happen without Diamond. So we're gonna move past it. Comic shops need to think past it. Marvel and DC needs to think past it, and we are way past things are going to go back to what they were before.
It's not going to happen. Just accept it.
Yep. You need to do that, because if the shops reopened today, we couldn't do that. The liquid cash is gone. I put up that offer for $1,000 to help a shop. I got, a lot of responses from comic shops. So I'm probably going to do it again. And I got to respond to everybody, and thank you for everyone who sent me an email. I wish I could help you all. And there was some sad, like really heartfelt. These are just people who wanted to sell comics, and they got caught up. Oh,
they're fans of the whole thing too. These are people who they've dedicated their lives to comics as well. That's what pissed me off when I got really upset the first couple of days, when there was no anything, when it was, CB Cebulski being like, go out there and get some food, everybody.
Yeah, get some sushi.
That's what pissed me off the first couple of days, really early on, is because I'm seeing these shops that are in the same position that I felt like I was in 2 years ago, where you're going to lose everything you've worked hard for. You're going to lose it all because of this medium, this industry that you care so much about, that's meant so much to you for your whole life. And it's betraying you. It doesn't care about you. And it's adding insult to injury, because you're not only going to lose your livelihood, you're going to also you're going to also realize that thing that you love doesn't love you back. And that's just heartbreaking. And so the fact that a lot of these people, all of these retailers are in that situation, that's what makes it so frustrating to see, at least for people like us. I don't know. Is that kind of emotion there? Because I don't see it. I don't see still, in a way, you know, it's like, I see stuff being said. I see kind of stuff being done. I don't really see the human factor there too. You know, you're doing that kind of thing of like reaching out and really trying to make, you know, not reach across the aisle, but really trying to reach out to people to just be like, hey, I'm just here to even just listen to you. I'm here to even say, look, you know, if I can help, let me know. And maybe you can't help them all, but the ability to be there for people right now means a lot to so many. And I wish that this industry kind of cared a little bit more about those kinds of things. You know, care as much about that as we do about, you know, let's put out a video about Snowflake and whatnot.
Yeah, right.
You talk about insult to injury.
That was a kick in the balls. Oh, I was so mad that reaction on my so fucking stupid. And then Gotham High right after it, and it's out right now.
Come on,
and it's gonna get roasted, folks. But no, that's it. Diamond being the lone distributor, I remember bringing up like, why don't you guys have a program, a training program? Like you have a mentor training program, and maybe they did. I don't remember hearing about it. And you get another retailer to help out because it'll help you get more customers. And a lot of people, you know, you could have had more comic shop owners, but some people don't like to take that leap. But if you made it a little easier, now I'm glad they didn't, because they would have had to dealt with Diamond. And that's the thing, is there's a lot of comic shops now. Speaking of resources, right now we're going to go through something I went through. Now, I didn't go through, you know, I had to sell my shop, obviously. But it's not out of outside circumstances, acts of God. I can't imagine what that's like. But I know what it feels like once you get rid of your shop, your baby. This is the thing you lived and breathed for 10 fucking years. You mourn it. You got a big, empty, gaping hole in your gut, in your soul for a long time. So you're going to need to talk to somebody, find a friend, email me, do what you need to do, because it's not going to feel good for a while. And it must feel doubly bad because of this situation. And it sucks that the people who are supposed to help you, be your partners, that you've helped make a lot of money, are going to forget, or have already forgotten about you. And that's a fact. And that sucks. We need more Peters of the world. I recommended you for Marvel and DC, but you're too good for them. So
I wouldn't want it.
Yep. Good.
Even some people were saying when they got rid of Vertigo, they're like, hey, maybe DC could get Alterna as their own creator, own thing. I'm like, over my dead body.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, right. I'm at the, when I open my new shop, I will not sell new comics. I'll sell Alterna, but I will not deal with Diamond. I will not open an account with Diamond. Never.
That's the way so many shops, I think. Yeah. That They really got to, you know, you can keep your store going. You can, so many shops already, comics are not their main source of income. You know, think about getting, and I say this as a publisher that's still going to put out new books. Okay, we're going to change our business plan up. We're going to incorporate more crowdfunding, and you can order direct from us if you want to get back issues, or even the new stuff too. You could still do that, but this whole system has to change. We all have to be able to be more quick to pivot and adapt, and able to meet the changing environment, the needs of the customers and the readers. That's something we all have to consider. So shops, I think it's the same thing for you guys. You know, don't just keep on sinking your money into this big faceless distributor that's shipping you faceless, soulless comics from corporate comic companies that want to make spite comics over actually making comic books that people are going to love till the end of time. This stuff where the companies that are, and they're still doing it, you know, we talk about what they should do and things like that, but it's what they should have been doing the whole time, making evergreen stories, universal appeal, having new characters. Don't do the retcon crap. Don't look at your continuity and your history as a weakness. That's what makes your whole thing so rich and interesting and unique. You're trading away your deep history and your continuity and all of the things that come with that to basically be an indie company. and relaunch your line time and time again with these faceless, empty characters that you have to start from square one. You can say it's whatever it is and put the name there, but we all know what that means. We all know what they are.
Yep.
And they're the things that we don't recognize and we don't love. I don't love like whoever else as Batman. I love Bruce Wayne as Batman, or whoever else as Superman, or whoever else as Spider-Man. And you can have these new characters. We all love new characters. That's the funniest part. And they'll convince you and tell you no one's going to like new characters. No one's going to like new characters.
Nope.
No one's going to like new characters.
Nope.
No one's going to like new characters. They tell you that there's no way. But they want you to believe that so that you keep buying their crap. And it's empty corporate comic crap. So use this time if you're a retailer to assess the fact that, you know what, we can go back to what we really love about this, which is the comics we love, the interactions with customers, the different products that we can offer. And it doesn't mean we have to be beholden to a system where we have to pre-order corporate crap that we don't care about, know about, or even have the time to educate ourselves about because it's flooding the shelves. There's like 1,000 comics a month. I mean, are you kidding me? How can you properly sell that? As a retailer, you have to know your product to establish a rapport with your customers. And you have to be honest with them, because if you tell them, you know, this book that you know is crap is great because you want to sell it because you're stuck with it, you lose the trust of your customer.
Yep. No, yeah, I had to be honest a lot of times. Oh my God, it would suck at the end of like Civil War. They're like, so how is that, Mike? Fuck. And I feel like all the fucking, all that variance and everything just fly out the door. I'm like, it sucked. And then the assholes, they really ended the book in Captain America 25 and didn't tell anybody, Brubaker, and we all sold out. So it's like, oh, don't get me started on that. I was so mad. I was so fucking mad. But that's the way it is. You got to be honest with your customers all the way through. Unicorn, a Scottish symbol for above average. So a Scottish nerd says a unicorn is a Scottish symbol for above average intelligence, I'm guessing. Dilly Gary, don't listen to Az about me being dyslexic. LOL. But he's still cheap. Hashtag cheap Az. I love Az. And yes, he's a cheap, but you know, it's because he's a limey, so he can't help it. I'm just kidding, UK. I'm just kidding, Az. God damn it. I saw he was live stream this morning. He was supposed to talk to Ethan, right? I didn't see the live stream, so I don't know. The center sends $6.66. Again, hail to Michael, who sent me a $500 super chat 2 days ago. You rule. Thank you. I'm still. Wow. Yeah, I want him to email me. I got a care package for him. He hasn't emailed me yet, or at least I haven't seen it. I'll check today. The center for $6.66, the super chat of the beast. What do you think about the animated Harley Quinn series on DC Universe? Have you seen it, Peter?
No, I have not. I've only seen like still images and things like that. From what I've heard and from what I've seen, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Woke. Too woke for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, it could have been great. I like Harley Quinn. I'll go back and watch her in the Paul Dini Bruce Timm animated series, which was utter perfection.
Oh, be still my heart, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And
yeah,
Harley Quinn. They make money off of that. They keep changing her and think that's the reason she's popular. No, she's still popular because of that. And you haven't totally deconstructed the character yet, but they're about to. They're about to completely ruin Harley Quinn. Fortunately, most of the women, this is going to sound terrible, but most of the women who buy that stuff at Hot Topic don't read the comic books, so they don't know the characters being deconstructed. They just think it's the same Harley Quinn that they saw their boyfriend or husband watching in the Batman animated series. And you can rip me later in the comment section. I don't care. I've got data to prove what I'm saying. Oberon for 20 Danish krona. R.I.P. Mort Drucker, Mad Magazine artist. Oh, rest in peace, Mort Drucker. Did he pass away today, Oberon? Hi, guys. I don't know. Has he been passed away a long time?
Either today or yesterday, I think.
Oh, shit.
I think, yeah.
Well, that's happening. I mean, these guys are, they were artists. I don't know how old he was. But a lot of them lived, I don't know how he did either, but a lot of them lived artist lifestyle. So if they live to old age, that's a very good thing. Viking Insane for $2 Canadian. Harley Quinn's good in the 90s, but now it's insufferable. Yep. Absolutely insufferable. She was, Margot Robbie did a good job in Suicide Squad. That was pretty close to acting like Harley Quinn. I'll give her that. In the second movie, it was dumb. It was just dumb. Kaijun Bowser for $5. Hail, Gary and Peter. Hang in there, guys, and keep up the good work as best as you can. We will. I mean, we're both kind of goal-oriented, solution-based people. I don't know about you, but I'll get mad about something, like, immediately. I'll just, like, my temper will go, and then I'll fix it. Then I'm over it. I'm like, okay, how do we fix the problem?
Well, you need that, right? It gives you that jolt.
Yeah.
Keeps you motivated and alive. Otherwise, you just, if you think about it too much, and then you go, oh man, this is depressing. And then that shuts you down. So you want to stay a little bit, keep that fire lit. And especially right now, there's so much to be angry and upset about. So harness that energy and use it as a force for good. Keep yourself moving forward.
Wise words, my friend. Wise words. And Hollywood's going to be in a very similar situation, ladies and gentlemen. AMC is staring at bankruptcy. Now, it's not, they could survive it. Bankruptcy is not the end of the end, okay? But you're looking at 500-600 theaters possibly closing. And that would be a jolt Hollywood could not afford. So, again, we've got giant companies working on paper-thin margins. That, hopefully, the good that comes out of this is they stop doing that, because they employ a lot of people that we don't want to see fired. Okay, we want to see these people working. We want to see them making good movies and making good TV shows with free of identity politics, which I think we were going to get after this. It's going to take a couple of years for it to filter out. But after that, I think that shit will be gone, and we can just, I don't know, we can either complain about a genuinely bad movie, you know.
And isn't that sad though, too, at the same time? And this is the kind of thing that we were all talking about for a long time, in terms of you're turning people into whatever kind of people you're talking about. You're turning them into a trend, into an item. You're tokenizing.
Yep.
You're creating this market, forcing this market. And then when it doesn't succeed, you look at that and go, see, they don't want that. And then what happens? You basically eliminate that. And then that becomes a risk now that you don't want to go into as a business venture, as a storyteller. And that's so sad, because it's not true. It's called bad writing, bad characterization, pretentious storytelling. Storytelling doesn't make any sense. That's what's turning people off. But they're masking it in this kind of a way. It's almost like working around a truly sinister kind of goal to eliminate diversity by acting as if you really want it so much.
Oh my God, you're right. You're right. And they are creating what they hate. They're creating resentment from within those communities, by the way. I get email after email that gets brought up in the chat that, like, hey, I don't like this. And we don't think you do. Honestly, I see, you know, I even hate the term. I don't use SJW or NPC that much. I say alphabet community. I hate community. I try my very best to see people as individuals. I see you as Peter, and I'm Gary, and Doomcock is Doomcock, and that's it. You know, it doesn't matter who beyond that to me anyway. But Hollywood's been using that to shame other people. They've been using other people to shame other people.
Pit us against each other.
Yes.
When in reality, we all relate and love one another in some way. You know, that tear down the superficial and get to the heart of the matter of the fact that we can all relate to universal experiences.
Yep.
So that's the thing they don't want us to see, though, because they fear us as a mass, you know, and then we have the power. Everyone has the power at that point, but they want to divide and just divide and conquer, essentially. So they want to do that this way. We're all kind of against each other as opposed to being against them and telling them, hey, we're not a fan of this crap. But instead, they manage to kind of convince certain people that this is what's going on. And it's a shame because of the fact that to me, I'll get a submission at Alterna every now and then where they lead with the superficial of what this character is. And I automatically think, I don't care for this story. I don't read a story because of the superficial traits of any of the characters. I read it because of what are they going through? What are they doing? What are they trying to accomplish? What are they up against? And I think we all get into stories. We all follow people and love people and their stories because of that. When you read a biography of someone or learn about what they've been through, that's what makes them interesting. What makes them interesting is never the superficial. It's what did they do to overcome whatever obstacle they faced in life. So ignoring those obstacles and just harping on the surface level is such a bad move as a storyteller. And it's even worse and more shallow of a move as a human being, where we're all deeper than just this surface level crap. As Yoda said, luminous beings are we. So there's something to that, though. It's true.
Yes. Absolutely. And Marvel, Marvel got addicted. It was monetarily based in the beginning. It became something else later, but they got addicted to the headlines. They killed somebody. CNN was talking about when Captain America death, man. Pooh, that was all over the news. There was a line outside my door, and they got addicted to it. Then it started gender swapping, and then they made Iceman gay, which is fine. It made more news than it actually sold books. It didn't sell any books because the story was bad. People were still trying it. People were mad as hell, but they were still trying it, and then it just didn't work. Same thing happened to Doctor Who. They changed it to a woman. People were mad as hell. People still tried it, and they just sucked at it. And it comes down to good and bad storytelling, ultimately. The Shadowy Sage for $19.99. I'm a vet and creative writing student with a day job. I read your submission guidelines, and I am only a developmental artist at best, but I'm a good writer. Any advice for an amateur starting out during the beer bug? That's for you, Peter.
Absolutely. When you're just starting out, you never want to go right to a publisher because you don't even know if you want to make comics. And I want people who are here to make comics and are very comfortable with doing that. So you want to make sure you're networking, you're talking to other creators, you're getting advice, you're putting yourself out there. And by doing that as well, you build up your own platform and your own network of people. And that's something that's going to become invaluable to you as a creator. And you get all kinds of different advice along the way. You also develop a thicker skin because most people, when you're starting out, when we all start out with pretty much anything, we all suck at it. We all make shit work when we're starting out, but we all think it's kind of not as bad as it is. And you'll come across people who will help you develop that thicker skin. Like people tell me right now, they still to this day will be like, I hate Alterna, it's stupid. I don't like any of these books. I'm like, okay, well, I hope you like something else out there. It doesn't bother me because I don't focus on that. You can't focus on that. But when you start out, you tend to focus more on the negative because not only do you hear the negative more because you're still learning and you're still growing, but you also tend to focus on the negative more because of the fact that you're in a fragile state. You're still not used to putting yourself in that vulnerable position creatively. It's a very different process, especially as a creator. You're very, this is what's coming from inside, and now I'm sharing it with people, and it's a harrowing process. So you have to learn to kind of start separating a bit. But yeah, just network with people and don't focus so much on the submission part, the publisher part, even the selling part of your work. Focus on getting better, on knowing more people, and growing and doing as good as you possibly can. And you'll find along the way you'll grow and you'll know when it's time.
And can be really fun too. That's the best part. It can be fun. Andrew Bomer, great advice, Peter. Andrew Bomer for $9.99. Great conversation. I don't read many comics, but I find these really interesting. Thanks again for the amount of work you're putting in, Andrew. It is an absolute pleasure. And it doesn't feel like work because I'm having fun because we're riding this out together. I love talking to you guys and interacting with people, and this replaced that big hole in my life when I found the comic shop and I could talk comic books to people all day, and then they would buy a comic book once in a while. I had died and gone to heaven. It was the best job in the world. I was so grateful to have it. Yeah, Diamond was a headache, but my customers were awesome. Every single one of them were brilliant. I still talk to some to this very day. I made some lifelong friendships. They're in the chat right now. And I was missing that, and this kind of helps. This is it. That's what live streaming is. It's the same fucking thing. I'm just not selling comic books, but I get to talk to Peter, which is great.
Well, it's something that I remember always. I was watching a Metallica documentary one time when I was a teenager. I was really into music, really, really into it. Played guitar, piano, all kinds of stuff. And I remember this interview with James Hetfield, and he was talking about how, he was kind of an outcast as a kid, felt out of place, and discovering guitar and metal and all that stuff. It puts you in this place of confidence, and this kind of gives you a direction and makes you feel like you have a purpose. And he was talking about doing shows and stuff and being like, how great it felt. Like you felt like, wow, these are our people. This is it, and you feel like you're a part of something. And that's how this always feels to me with comic books, with people that are in this chat right now, with yourself. You feel like these are my people, and it's a great experience. It's a wonderful feeling when you have that. And that's something that I always thought was wonderful about comic books, is that growing up, you kind of feel like that. You feel like an outcast. You feel like, and I related to the X-Men a lot because of it. It felt like, man, these people, they're getting persecuted. They're getting, but they're still fighting the good fight. They're all about it, and they're outside of society in a way, but they're all about, hey, we're all the same. Like we're on your side. We love you even though you hate us.
Yep.
And that's what I loved about X-Men. And I always wish, as a kid, I'd always wish, the bullies that I had, I was like, I wish, Wolverine would come along and, kind of maybe not, slice and dice, maybe give him a little scare. And as a kid, it was like wish fulfillment, and it was a cathartic experience.
Absolutely.
And, and I loved comics because of that. It felt like the world I lived in, it felt like it didn't make a lot of sense sometimes. It wasn't really right, and it felt like you were powerless to it. But comics felt like it made sense. It gave me a compass in a way, especially those kinds of comics. So it drew me to that. And finding other people that love those things as well, that's what made comic books so great. So that's why when I see people crap on readers or whatever, it really tears me up, especially lifelong readers, when they're told like, oh, we don't need you. They're the old and
for you.
In with the new. Yeah. Oh,
tired of your hetero norms. It's like, what?
Because you're the bullies on the playground now. And the fact that the comic creators out there that take pride in that kind of speech, I'm like, would you tell that to that 5-year-old or 7 or 8 or 10-year-old who's reading those comics for the first time? Would you go back in time and push them into the playground sand and say, hey, these aren't for you? What are you doing, you geek? This isn't for you. Why would you do that? That's all I could think. It's because comics appeal to that young at heart, I think, in all of us. Stories just in general appeal to that. You have to be emotionally dead inside for stories not to move you. These are fictional things, fictitious characters going through stuff. But not one of us in here, I think, can say that we never got emotionally worked up about a story,
all the time.
Fictional story. So that appeals to your heart, which appeals to the kid in you. The emotional center of you.
Kitty Pryde defending, Nightcrawler. Just,
right, yeah, So, and that's the thing that you're hitting upon. You're striking that nerve purposefully, trying to hurt people at their very core. That's awful to do. Yep. Why would you want to do that? What kind of monster are you?
And that's straight up what it is. You said it. It's all stems from anger. Something happened to them in their lives personally. These are individuals, right? But these individuals tend to have grouped together. Something happened to them to where they were bullied or victimized, or they felt that way. And now they have become the aggressor. And that's what this is. Nerds, you've become the jocks. And a lot of the nerds nowadays, sorry, because we're old, didn't experience what we did, okay? And which was, listen, it wasn't hardship. It's not like it was, I grew up, in a bad neighborhood or something like that. It was being a nerd, wearing a Star Wars shirt. Once in a while, you get some shit. Now, there's a period of time where it was a lot. It was a lot. And yeah, but that was just for stuff we loved. But what you said, the comics used to focus me again, going through puberty, and I was adopted, and I had all kinds of shit going on when I was a kid. But it wasn't going on when I was reading those comic books. When I was reading Superman, Supergirl, Daredevil, X-Men, Avengers, and Iron Man, and a Spectacular Spider-Man, which during that, when I was like 9 to 12, that's what I was reading constantly. And yeah, it took me away. And it gave me moments of peace, that escapism, something we can all use right now. This would be a good time for comics. And what kind of shape is it in right now? It's a joke.
It's unfortunate, yeah.
And it's sad. It's tragic. It is. For everybody involved, even the people I'm mad at.
Yep.
100% Nerdrotic says Chung Ostrander. Thank you, Chung Ostrander, for the $2. Viking Insane for 2 Canadian pesos. Europe is like prison compared to the U.S. Well, no, I mean, no. Europe went down a road. They were sold a bill of goods, I think, on a lot of stuff. The people were. There's a lot of good people there, but I think they were sold a bill of goods on some stuff, and hopefully it turns around, and maybe this will do it. But we love all of you there. Sincerely, we do. But Viking Insane for 2 Canadian dollars. Aditya Singh for 10 pounds. Excellent conversation. Was blasting King Diamond records earlier. That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
This
Nice.
is an excellent way to spend the evening. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're in the UK. I was mainly into European comics like Asterix. Read American comics in the library. Well, French comics, when they're translated, are pretty awesome, Peter. They're really, really good.
Yeah, a lot of the European stuff is great.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. The artwork too is, oh my lord.
2000 AD. 2000 AD kept me a comic book fan. So Shark Fillet sends 99 cents and a black cat. Thank you. That looks like my old cat Zorro. Fuck Google 2 for $2. Peter, red beanie is out of stock. Is it coming back?
Oh yeah, eventually. A lot of people we're doing phases of our stuff in terms of merch, and we sold out a whole bunch of those, and now we're doing these ones that you see here, which is the 4-color scheme. It's got the CMYK going. The K, the black, is the hat, and people like those too, which is great. But we're probably about halfway sold out of those, and once we're sold out of those, we'll go back to the red and reintroduce it. And yeah, so eventually.
That's smart. Yeah, that's what I do. Well, that's what Mrs. Nerdrotic does. She does a run, and then that's it. And then, I got to plug this a little bit. Follow us on Instagram for Swag Sunday, by the way. That's a good lead-in. So there's our Exozone beanie. Master Grief for 117 for £5. If we figured it out, people could walk into comic shops, pick from touchscreens, and print on the spot, make local, print local, write local. What do you think about print on demand comics?
I don't like the sound of that. That's you're turning comic shops into print shops at that point, and that's a bit odd to do from all kinds of different standpoints. I think legally, even the aspect too of keeping any kind of sense of quality control for a publisher, or even keeping printing presses open and running, and you can only do certain kinds of quality on those presses that you're talking about. You certainly couldn't do the Alterna comics that way. The newsprint just wouldn't not go on a digital press. It's definitely print on demand is definitely a thing you can do. Many people do. We started out that way, but in terms of actually doing the whole select it and then have it print and then have it in a shop
quality
and everything
control,
yeah. The
copyrights, the quality control would be a nightmare of massive proportions. And I used to be back in the old days. I know how to run an AB Dick printer. Okay, so I have trained. It was a trade I trained in. Didn't like it very much. And in bindery and stuff, I've done that, and it would just be it would be so expensive. It's not worth it to make something good. you know.
Yeah, and just the economy of scale is not there. So you're
Yep.
talking then about how much are these comics, like $8-10 a piece for just a simple, like maybe 20 pager.
Yeah.
And then the maintenance involved and the everything. It's yeah. I like the drive though. I like the ideas. I like that people are having ideas, which is good.
Yeah, it's always good to have them. It doesn't mean you want to shoot down ideas. It's just something we thrown out there. Maybe we can find something from that. Mark C, the great Mark C, for
Yeah.
$20. Peter and Gary, I've been developing a 40 style rocket ship and ray gun sci-fi book. Hell yeah, I love that shit. I don't see a lot of these type of books being published. Am I trying to fill a gap that there's no audience? Your thoughts?
You know what? That's kind of what Alterna is. That was why I made Alterna. We were supposed to be an alternative to everything. So we always had a dead zone in a way. And sometimes it worked for us, sometimes it didn't. But that's the kind of stuff I always look for. I look for the stuff that's not really out and about and, saturating the market. I don't chase trends. I think chasing trends is the stupidest thing you could do when it comes to publishing. It's the biggest reason that the newsstand market, magazines and newspapers and all that kind of stuff, the whole thing is topical. It's about chasing the trend, chasing the relevant. Well, as soon as digital enters that stage, whatever you printed is completely irrelevant the next day. So comics to turn that way is, to me, the worst thing that could happen to comics. You want to always have them, you could read Mighty Mascots, you could read It Came Out on a Wednesday, Mr. Crip, Gods and Gears, whatever at Alterna today or 20, 30, 40, 100 years from now and still enjoy the story. It's not pertinent on topical events or anything like that. So yeah, go for it. If you really think, that's a good strategy to take, you see this thing isn't out there, that's the perfect time to do it. Make it.
Yeah, I think Mark C is worried a little bit about a Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, a movie I fucking love, by the way. Mark C, yeah, it is kind of an out there genre, but I've seen your art. I know the level of your talent. Do it, man. If you're having fun, the most important thing is if you think it's a good story in your heart and you believe in it, doesn't matter what genre or trend yet. What Peter said, doesn't matter. If you believe in the story, fucking do it.
It's infectious too, because if you really are all about it and you love it and you're passionate about this story and don't do the thing the comic industry does where we sit there and we wait, we put our feet up and we go, well, we made it. They're going to find it. Don't do that. If you're proactive with seeking these people out, letting people know about your book and you're passionate about it, doesn't matter what the heck it's about. There's going to be an audience for it and you're going to do fine.
And you got me. I'll shout it out, Mark. I'll shout it out to the 4 wins for you. You've been supporting this channel for a long time, and I know you're a good guy. And yeah, what Peter said. Super duper hayseed farm boy. Super duper hayseed farm boy for $2. Great job, guys, but please Buck Rogers type comic. Yeah, that's what Mark just said right there. See? Boom. Right there. We get it's like synchronicity, man.
We kind of have one that's like that. It's called Feast or Famine. It's got some elements like that, like a space adventure story with the alternate universe, Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta buy one of your bundles, dude. Some nobody for $5. Knowing I want to compete with Diamond and Marvel, and kind of you guys too. But could you tell me how to find printers to print comics? If not, no big deal. What printer do you use, Peter?
Well, we use a web press printer. You have to usually have higher quantities for that. But there's web press, there's offset press, there's digital press, which is usually what on-demand books are printed on. All kinds of varying quality. There's so many printers out there. There's so many. You can just easily do a Google search and then just send them an email or a quote request, get paper stock samples from them. There's so many. It's not as difficult as you would think to find a printer, especially a pretty decent printer. Just keep getting quotes and the paper samples and yeah, it could be a time consuming process depending on what you're looking for and what you're trying to do. But it's not that difficult.
I'll tell you what, folks, when things get back online, I think prices are going to be amazingly cheap for a little while. I think they're going to want to, jumpstart everything. That's why I'm holding out on some purchases. I'm going to wait. Hopefully, and we get this thing going again and help our printers get back to work and Peter get back to work and the comic shops open. What's left with the new system?
Yeah, we're lucky that our printer has
Yeah.
been declared essential.
Yeah.
Because of the things that they print. They print, wide national publications,
good.
grocery store flyers, all that kind of stuff.
Excellent.
So we're lucky with that, where there's a bunch of other publishers that are not so lucky. I know DC, Transcon, that print the Diamond Previews catalog as well. And I think they print DC, Image, a couple others. They're not declared non-essential.
Wow.
I mean, essential. So they're non-essential. They have to shut down. And a lot of other printers are in that same position too, but there's also many that are not. But yeah, it's all about, find what works for you. Don't run into, if you're someone that's just starting out, you just want to get your first comic made, nothing at all wrong with print on demand. Alterna, even, we have a printing partnership program. So you can print 500 copies minimum of your book, and it's something like 80 cents a piece. And of course, shipping is extra, but it's not too much.
Not bad.
Yeah, so I think
good.
it's maybe $1 a copy. But of course, if you order 1,000 or whatever more you need, the price goes down. So this is something to get your comic out professionally printed. You can get them on newsprint, and do that. But if you want to print maybe 50 and you want to start small and just see how it goes, you're going to maybe pay $3 to $4 a copy print on demand, and there's nothing wrong with that. Do whatever you can do. Don't try to do way too much. A lot of people, they think, make a big splash. We'll print a ton. We'll get a lot of inventory. We'll totally move it. Don't do that. That's the worst. That's the worst possible thing you can do and put yourself in a bad position.
Wise words again. Peter, thanks for being here. I just ordered the Alterna First Issues bundle. Happy to support the cause. Says synonymio. Oh man, you kill me with these words, guys. Synonymio.
Oh, I saw that. You don't have to say.
There
I saw that in the chat. I thanked him in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I got to shout it anyway, but yeah, definitely. That is a great bundle. I didn't know you had that bundle. A First Issues bundle. That would be what I'm going to pick up a First Issues bundle.
It's like $32. The shipping is free if you're in the US. We also have a subscription plan, so you can get it. I think it's like less than $150 at this point to get the rest of the year. But that also comes with the free shipping coupon code. So if you subscribe and you become an Alterna All-Star, you get a free shipping coupon code where you can get whatever you want on the site, and it ships for free with your next bundle that's coming to you. And that includes international as well. So if you're an international subscriber, you pay quite a bit for the upfront shipping. But if you really want to order a lot of Alterna, whatever it is, hats, graphic novels, back issues you may have missed out on, you get free shipping and they come with your next bundle. So even if we have to pay an extra $10 or so for that shipping and we eat the cost or whatever it is, we're happy to do that just so that you're taken care of. But we have all kinds of different things like that on the site.
This is why Peter succeeds, folks. This is why Peter's going to be he's going to survive this crap, because he doesn't sweat that small shit. And that's good customer service.
Well,
and
listen to the readers. That's what they want. They tell me, they're like, hey, it'd be great if you had an easy to order bundle and it's all of the books. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, hey, it'd be easy if you put them in like complete sets. Oh, okay. And then I put it up there. It's all it is that you just listen to what the people want. Good
customer service. I do believe our good friend Heather Antos, wish her all the luck in the world, repeated yesterday. Yesterday was the 8th, right? Yesterday that comic book artists and editors, and they're not in the customer service business, folks. They're not in the customer service business. This is the editor-in-chief of Valiant Comics said this.
If you're not there to serve the customers, sooner or later you will have no customers to serve.
So somebody shot right back. How's that pencils down thing working out for you? Bop, bop. But I don't want her to be out of work. I just want her to, don't say stuff like that, Heather.
Everything's a learning experience.
Yes.
Please learn. Although some people, they never learn, and we have to accept that.
Yep. Printing company, not like the printers themselves, says some nobody for $2. Oh, okay. Some nobody. What's up, by the way? Some nobody, again, I got to repeat, this is the person who got in a little dust up with Dana Schwartz that got written about in Bounding into Comics. That was some nobody. Craig Burnett for £10. Can you start a comic competition? Rules are we need a team of 5 new heroes. Viewers submit their ideas with short backgrounds and pick your winners. Comedy and piss taking is encouraged. That'd be funny. I could do something like that, but yeah, I mean, I'm open to anything, Craig. That would be fun. That maybe we can do that. We could plan a live stream for that, and yeah, just bullshit for 2 hours and pick superheroes. I think it'd be kind of funny.
It'd be like the audition process on Mystery Men.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, that would be great. And we could start with the baseline of Snowflake and Safe Space, and I know the Jack Show already did that. They did. What was the one Cecil came up with? Safe word. Safe word. And safe words. They probably thought of this. His sidekick is Power Bottom. So safe word and Power Bottom, I think, would be good. A good couple of superheroes to go along with. From San Francisco, of course. Still Wind 87 for $4.99. Just ordered Blood Realm Volume 1 and 2 through my local comic shop. Thanks, Peter and Gary. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you.
TR French for $5. Marvel, DC, Scholastic need to know that the school libraries are rebooting for digital in the post you know what era. Yes, they are. Yes, they are, TR French. Did you know about that? Okay, so I'm sure you're fully aware of the Scholastic situation here in the comic book industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a lot of Scholastic. Scholastic has been, I won't say artificially propping up a couple of these companies, but it's been a nice cash injection to them. It's been a nice revenue stream. Might not be for long. And that's bad. That's bad because they relied on it so much. I did notice something, Peter, when I went to Comic-Con this year. There was all of these panels for librarians. I'm like, where did this come from? Like one or two, sure. There was like 10.
They need a market that's more reliable, because I think libraries, it's like only a 20% return rate, as opposed to the book industry's like 50 to 60% return rate.
Yeah. So they are going for them. Believe me, there was a bunch of panels for librarians. I'm like, what? Where did this come from? Big Lou for $20. Nothing to say. Just keep up the good work, Gary. Well, thank you, Big Lou. Thank you very much. Mark C. Peter, when you crowdfund, please offer runs on books so we can catch up.
I saw that too. Yeah, that was good.
Even if I need to read a second printing. Yeah. Mark C. is... He's brilliant, man. No, he's really like Mark, how are you not in the industry? I don't understand it. I don't. Maybe you don't want to be. And
thank God he's not. They'd squash all those good ideas right out of him.
Yep. You can't do that. Can't be done. So we shouldn't try it. No.
Well, I hate to cut this. Is it short if it's 2.5 hours?
No, if you got to bail, you got to bail. Go ahead.
It was great being here. Seriously, we got to do this more often. I love having this conversation with you. Is awesome. I think we could do this 10 other times and still have more things to talk about. But thank you so much for having me on the show. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much as well. Seriously, you guys are amazing. Your support for Alterna, your support for other indie creators as well during this time, and your local comic shops. Your support for someone like Gary as well, who's here being passionate every day, day in and day out, and really making sure that you guys are informed about many different situations. It's fantastic. And thank you guys so much for doing that and being so supportive. But again, thank you for having me on the show, man. And we will catch up again another time.
Talk to you soon, Peter. Take care, bud.
You too.
Later. All right. You're going to see my logo in there for a little bit. Peter, Semeti from Alterna Comics. Hey, he's got to get back to work. He's got a lot of work to do. And I've got a few more super chats to read, so I'm going to read those. And I got an idea. I can put that window. Is it this window? No, it's this window. Is it this window? You're going to see Gen Xer, Go Boomer, and figure this shit out. There we go. Right there. Okay. Here. Yeah, that's what we could do. We can do that. And un momento. So you could see the super chats. There we go. Boom. That works. It's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. All right. Thanks, folks, for hanging in there. That's the awesome professionalism of Nerdrotic I'm sure you've come to expect here. Yes. Okay, so we have Michael Sterlitz for $2. He just says hi. He just says hi. We got the Price is Right review for $5. Kapla, my man. Hope your day is going well. I'm relaxing on my birthday. Happy birthday! Happy. How do you just mix that in there with a couple of beers, smoking a big cigar, and watching my favorite Trekkie bro? What's up, bro? How old are you? Price is Right reviews. Put it in the chat. Happy birthday, my friend. Kapla. Yeah, go ahead and drink. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say if you're not an alcoholic, have a glass of wine, drink, enjoy yourself. Me, I'm going to be sober because it's not the end of the world. We're going to get through this. It doesn't hurt to plan some shit, though, comic book industry. And Peter is a gentleman. He's a nice guy. He has been horribly abused in this industry. Horribly abused. For simply talking to Ethan Van Sciver or wanting to talk to Richard or Cecil or anybody in the Comicsgate realm. You know what? You can talk to people and you're not necessarily against them or for them, endorsing them or not. You know, how about I like individuals in Comicsgate. I have mods who are War Campaign. I don't give a shit. I don't care what other adults do with their stuff. I don't care. It's not my responsibility. Now, do I love everything that every other channel does? No, but it's not my business. And I'm not going to judge them. I doubt they love everything I do either. They're just being, you know what? We're these imperfect beings sitting here and we're held to standards that the people who judge us would never hold to for themselves. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter. We're trying to make things better here. We're trying to make things better for the political bigotry that's been going on from Marvel and DC in particular for quite some time. And there's no other word for it. It's bigotry. Under the guise of inclusivity and diversity, which we all know at this point is bullshit. And yes, that shit is over now. So now you're picking up the pieces. And what did I say throughout every freaking Star Wars video and every Doctor Who video? I said, you know who's going to be here when this is in ashes, when this is in fucking pieces? We are. We're going to be here. And you know what? Now we hear, well, if you don't like it, why don't you stop watching? I stopped watching it. It's like, no, I'm a fan. This is what a fan does. I'm a fan. I can't just stop liking Doctor Who. I can't just stop liking comic books. It's not that easy for me. And I wanted it just to be, digestible for everyone. Instead, you were poisoning half the audience. Fuckers. Makes me mad. SJWs are evil and nasty. Yes, they are a certain individual who is very insecure, who, when wronged, it's sociopathic behavior. That's what it is. When wronged, they don't just get upset. They want to destroy your life. And it doesn't matter if you ran over their dog or told a white lie about them. Or maybe gave them some constructive criticism that they took wrong. They won't differentiate any of those three things. They'll want to destroy your life. Or if you don't believe exactly what they believe. If you don't believe I don't believe that they should be doing transgender story time to 9-year-olds at elementary schools. I don't think I don't like that at all. And I would not have my kid participate in that. There's some parents who are completely fine with that, and that's fine. I am not. But I would be vilified for not being for that. Absolutely vilified. I don't give a shit. Keaton Smith. Now, it doesn't mean I'm against them at all. I think over 18, actually it should be over 21 in my opinion, but over 18, whatever. Do what you want. I don't care. You're an adult. Keaton Smith is a member at the Jaloja level. Welcome. SPDA 242 for 25 Swedish krona. Do you ever miss did you miss my question, Peter? I think you got it earlier. If you missed it, it was my fault. SPDA. Hang on. Let me go back up there and see. Because I know you asked one. Maybe I missed one, though. I think he answered it. But if he didn't, I will forward it to him. I will double check that, but I can't do it right now. Sorry about that, SPD. I apologize. I will try to check before I go. Also, I'm gonna. I have a correction for Keith's Comics. We're gonna give him a big shout out, the winner, and I'm going to tweet the receipts. He's already got his money. The money's already gone, and we're gonna fuck it. We're gonna do another one. Fuck it. We're gonna do another one. Heather Antos' tweet is why she fails, and Peter, Todd McFarlane, Ethan Van Sciver, and your boy Zach succeed. Yep. It's customer service. Customer service. And the thing is Zach, your boy Zach, I listened to that guy from the get-go. Not a racist, not an ist or a phobe at all. At all. Like, at all. As a matter of fact, I would say he's softer on some of those people than I am. Listen to his Star Trek reviews. Yeah, I think he was absolutely just, got a bad haircut on a bad day. No, they succeed because of the entrepreneurial spirit and not being afraid to succeed. Yeah, some people are afraid. Look at Sean Gordon Murphy. It's a perfect example. Some people are afraid to succeed when they have all the talent in the world. Dude, Sean Gordon Murphy, I'm going to buy your book. Sight unseen. Fuck your friends and your friends' feelings. I don't think that's good luck. Who even talks like that? I mean, are you talking to a hairdresser? Hairdressers talk like that, and that's fine because they're literally talking about your look. But just put in a free Alterna comic order. First, I've heard of you. Looking forward to seeing my comics and trade paperbacks next week. Is a superhero team? Is there a superhero team book? Dave, I will ask him that. He had to take off. I'm sure there is. No, Alterna is dope. Folks, it's the real deal. It doesn't get talked about enough. That's why I'm going to bring Peter on, and we're going to do that some more. Common Sense America for $5. Gary sent you an email about possibly guesting on our podcast live stream Saturday. Also, do you know if there are any Ultraman comics? There are Ultraman comics. Oh, yes, there are. Maybe Saturday. I'll return your email. It depends on the time. I have a video I have to get done by the weekend. Hail, Gary and Peter from lockdown in rainy New York City. So now it's raining, Cecil, and it's sunny here. Cecil is awesome. Cecil is love. Hail, Cecil. Love you, man. Sarah B for $5 says, Hail, Gary, Nerdrotic family. Happy 6th. That's my sobriety. That is completely awesome. Keeping the gratitude flowing. Hashtag RIP Doctor Who. Hashtag one day at a time. Hashtag one day at a time. Yes. Doctor Who video will be coming out too next week. I'm having kind of fun. I mean, like, there's not a ton of news to talk about other than comic books. So, like, all the other stuff is just going to be reviews. And if you like it, that'd be great. Michael Sterlitz for $5. I believe this is probably the last one. Mixed in the head. What, the comic book industry? They're effed in the head, my friend. And then Keaton Smith. Hey, Gary, we need a good HD remaster of Buffy. Keaton Smith for £2. Never, ever going to happen. They did an HD remaster. It was awful. And to do it again would be maybe if they do it for digital. But yes, frankly, you can just, the DVDs are the best version to watch the show. You can get I have them. I got Angels season 1 through 5 at Walmart for $30. Now you get the complete season of Buffy for like $75 or something like that. But yeah, they're not going to do it. I wish, I don't know why. It's dumb. Don the bowler hat. Gary, I can't peppermint oil capsule because it's under a shelf behind a box. I'll don it next time. Well, you mean for my Doctor Who video? Yes, I will be donning the bowler hat for my Doctor Who video. You got my promise. I'll have my suspenders on too. Breaking those out again too. Okay, we're going to wrap this up, folks. Thanks for watching. And thanks, Peter, for coming on again. And I'm going to get to recording a video. And then there's going to be more live streaming later today. Now, I don't know. I got to check. I shot Doomcock a question, and I asked him if he wanted to do an Inquisition or an Exozone. Now, I haven't checked my messages yet, so I'm going to check and see what he says. I kind of want to do an exozone, but we're gonna have to do it off platform. So we're gonna have to figure out whether it's gonna be on Twitch or D Live or something, because the stuff I want to talk about got Mike Barra, his whole channel demonetized yesterday. So that's the stuff I want to talk about. I want to get in the weeds on this stuff. But in the meantime, support your local comic shop if you can. And I want to show you the real winner, Keith's Comics. Now, again, that was my bad. I showed the wrong one yesterday. This one is in Illinois. And there's his website right there. Do you have a Facebook page? He doesn't have a Facebook page, does he? Or he does have a Facebook page, does he not? There it is, right there. All right. Well, we don't want to show that one. Hang on, folks. All right. I have to add something here. Give me just a moment. There we go. Damn it. This thing is bugging on me. There we go. Here it is. Keith's Comics. And he's at 528 South Roselli Road, Schaumburg, Illinois, 60193. You can phone him at 847-534-9436 when he is back open. Hopefully he will be open soon. He was the first person to get back to me. He showed me his business license. I shot him $1,000. It will be put on Twitter, and I will be doing it again next week. So we're gonna start it from scratch. I'm gonna have to put it. I guess I'm gonna have to do another comic book video. So I don't know how we'll do it, but I'll announce it Monday. We'll start a brand new offer. And we'll do it one more time. I can afford to do it one more. Well, I can't afford. Well, I can afford to do it one more time. So, Keith's Comics, congratulations, my friend. Bless you. I hope hope this helps you pay a couple bills. It was just $1,000, and I don't want any shops to close. And I love helping the little shops, the big shops, whatever. But yeah, dude, hope you're okay. Hope all is well. All right, folks, I'm gonna wrap this up. I guess there's a couple more super chats. So let me read those real quick. Michael Sterlitz says, "Oi, pounds, pounds, oi, pounds, LOL," says Michael Strelitz. All right. And then I'm 31 this year, and no, I'm a social drinker, LOL, says Price is Right review for $2. All right. Well, happy 30. Welcome to your 30s. Welcome to the age of wisdom. You got out of your 20s, which is basically just a teenager with rent. Gary, how dare yo? Yoy. How dare yoy? I am leaving now. Okay. We got people leaving, and this is getting messy. So I will see you tomorrow, Friday Night Tights, at an earlier time. Please keep an eye on Twitter. We will let you know. Have a great day, everyone. Remember, not all who wander are lost, and may the wings of liberty never lose a feather.